Passage 1. The Three Golden Apples by Nathaniel Hawthorne. "I'm glad to see you again," shouted Hercules when the giant was within hearing. "So have you got the golden apples?" "Certainly, certainly," answered Atlas, "and very fair apples they are. I took the finest that grew on the tree, I assure you. Ah, it is a beautiful spot, that garden of the Hesperides. Yes, and the dragon with 100 heads is a sight worth any man seeing. After all, you had better have gone for the apples yourself." "No matter," replied Hercules. "You have had a pleasant ramble, and have done the business as well as I could. I heartily thank you for your trouble. And now, as I have a long way to go, and am rather in haste, and as the king, my cousin, is anxious to receive the golden apples, will you be kind enough to take the sky off my shoulders again?" "Why, as to that," said the giant, chucking the golden apples into the air, 20 miles high, or thereabouts, and catching them as they came down. "As to that, my good friend, I consider you a little unreasonable. Can I carry the golden apples to the king, your cousin, much quicker than you could? As his majesty is in such a hurry to get them, I promise you to take my longest strides. And besides, I have no fancy for burdening myself with the sky, just now." "What?" shouted Hercules very wrathfully. "Do you intend to make me bear this burden forever?" "We will see about that one of these days," answered the giant. "At all events, you ought not to complain, if you have to bear it the next 100 years, or perhaps the next 1,000. I bore it a good while longer, in spite of the backache. Well then, after 1,000 years, if I happen to feel in the mood, we may possibly shift about again. You are certainly a very strong young man, and can never have a better opportunity to prove it. Posterity will talk of you, I warrant it." "Psh! A fig for its talk!" cried Hercules, with another hitch of his shoulders. "Just take the sky upon your head one instant, will you? I want to make a cushion of my lion's skin, for the weight to rest upon. It really chafes me, and will cause unnecessary inconvenience in so many centuries as I am to stand here." "That's no more than fair, and I'll do it," quoth the giant, for he had no unkind feelings towards Hercules, and was merely acting with a too selfish consideration of his own ease. "For just 5 minutes, then, I'll take back the sky. Only for 5 minutes, recollect. I have no idea of spending another 1,000 years as I spent the last. Variety is the spice of life, say I. Ah, the thick-witted old rogue of a giant! He threw down the golden apples, and received back the sky from the head and shoulders of Hercules, upon his own, where it rightly belonged. And Hercules picked up the 3 golden apples that were as big or bigger than pumpkins, and straightway set out on his journey homeward, without paying the slightest heed to the thundering tones of the giant, who bellowed after him to come back.
Dismiss. Third period.
Passage 2. From Wait by Jeanette Winterson. He woke in a sweat. He couldn't even wipe his brow. He stared unfocused into the serene starriness of the universe and wondered if he shouted loud enough would he get a reply. "Atlas!" he yelled. "Atlas!" And on earth there was thunder in the mountains. "There is no need to shout," said Atlas. "I can hear you." There he was, tall, smiling, standing in front of Hercules, blissfully free of any burden. Hercules felt his skin burning with jealousy. "Did you get the apples?" he said, trying to sound cool. Atlas reached into his pouch pocket and brought them out, still shining with their strange light. Then he said, "Hercules, I'll take these 2 Eurystes for you." "Wouldn't hear of it, mate," said Hercules. "You've done enough already." "You aren't getting tired, are you?" said Atlas. "Tired? No, mate, I love it here. Makes a change, no problem." "Well then," said Atlas, "do you want anything before I go?" Hercules was nervous. If he made a fuss, Atlas could just walk away. Hercules couldn't put the world down without help. Atlas could trap him here forever. "Since you ask, I'd like a pound for my head. Take the weight off." Atlas was kind-hearted, and he did not want to see Hercules suffer. So he searched through his bag of belongings and found a thick fleece that he could fold into a cushion. He bent over Hercules and tried to fit it behind his neck. "Look, just take the world for a second, and I'll fit the pad on my shoulders, and then we'll be straight. Oh, and don't squash the apples, will you?" Unsuspecting, Atlas nodded and bent down to put the apples on the floor of the universe. Then with a light flick, he spun the cosmos off Hercules and held it over his head. Hercules quickly picked up the apples. "Better make yourself comfortable, mate. I'm not coming back." What could Atlas do? He wanted to hurl the universe at Hercules, crush him, annihilate time, and make the story start again. "Come on, Atlas," said Hercules. "You've had your fun." Slowly, so as not to spill one drop of milk, Atlas lowered the cosmos back onto his shoulders and bent himself under the burden. He did it with such grace and ease and with such gentleness, love almost, that Heracles was ashamed for a moment. He would gladly have dashed the world to pieces if that would have freed him. He saw now that Atlas could do just that, but did not, and he respected him, but would not help him. Goodbye, Atlas, Heracles, and thanks.